Hello dear colorists, welcome to a new episode of our color along. Today we are going to start coloring this pretty girl's hair. She is going to be a blonde girl, as I said, and what I'm going to show you for the beginning is a preparatory step for a very blonde hair, for a very light blonde hair. A step which is on the other hand not mandatory to do unless you want to get a more realistic appearance of her hair. What I usually do when I try to color light hair is to cover the black line of the drawing, of the initial drawing. I do this using Posca marker, which is based on acrylic paint. It has a very good coverage paint. I used to sometimes I replace it with a gel pen, but it doesn't cover as well as this Posca that I own. So this is what I incline to use most of the times. If you don't have this Posca pen and you still want to cover the black lines of any drawing, you can always use acrylic paint, white acrylic paint. I have, for example, a very small brush which I use for very detailed parts of the drawings. It's very good for it's like a makeup brush, and look, it's so small, like the details on the paper. You can use the acrylic paint you find in the commerce in any art store. I don't have any brand to recommend for acrylic paint because I'm not a specialist in this paint. So we'll try to stick to this. Again, if you don't have white Posca pen or acrylic paint around you, it's very much okay to color the hair, also showing the black lines. What you need to know, somebody, a very good friend told me that it was a very good information that before using Posca you have to shake it well with the cap on. Make sure to have the cap on because you could have anytime some very nasty surprise to spill the white paint all over your drawings or walls or clothes. Let's start doing this. I shook it a lot before using this, and I'm also trying it on a piece of paper because sometimes it holds a little bit of water at the beginning before putting it on paper. So this is basically what I do. You don't have to be very correct in covering these lines. Technically you are supposed to whiten them up because anyway we are going to come with color afterwards. It's not going to be completely, none of the areas is going to be completely white, so these lines are not going to show anyway. Once you finish the coverage of the black lines, you really need to let it dry well, this acrylic paint, because you are going to come with a layer of colored pencils, and you may scratch it off if it is not well dried. This is why I usually leave it for my own safety. I leave it for half an hour to dry before coloring over it. You don't want it to be even damp, the surface of the paper you're coloring on. This is just to make sure. You also need to know that when you cover with Posca or acrylic, the coverage or the I don't know how to call it in English. When you color with colored pencil, it won't look the same where you have Posca as it looks where you have paper. It's going to be a small difference. Where you have Posca, it's going to be lighter. The adherence of the pencil is not as good over Posca as it is over normal paper. One trick that I used for this, the coverage is better over the acrylic paint if you use watercolor pencil. The watercolor pencils that you can take the color with a brush from the tip of the pencil, and you can apply it over the Posca, and the colors are going to be just great.
When life leaves you high and dry, I'll be at your door tonight if you need help, if you need help. I'll shut down the city lights, I'll lie, cheat, I'll beg and bribe to make you well, to make you well. When enemies are at your door, I'll carry you away from more if you need help, if you need help. Your hope dangling by a string, I'll share in your suffering to make you well, to make you well. Give me reasons to believe that you would do the same for me, and I will do it for you, for you. Baby, I'm not moving on, I'll love you long after you're gone. After you're gone.
Once we have covered all the black lines with Posca and we let it dry so that it doesn't have any dampness our page, we can start setting our colors for this hair tutorial. I prepared probably more shades than I will use, but what I wanted to show is that we are going to do a basic layer of light colors over which we are going to create the shades and the texture of the hair with the darker colors. I prepared some the basic color that I'm going to use is going to be sand. You see, it's not even sharpened perfectly because we won't need this very good sharpening for this pencil. I prepared the cream pencil and some deco yellow for the lighter areas of the blonde hair. It's a very strong yellow that I prepared. The lighter shades are going to be done with this light amber, and if we want a reddish shade of our blonde, we can use this chocolate, and you can also test some other shades. Dark brown espresso, and which are two more neutral shades of brown, and I always use black, so for the deepest colors and the deepest shades that I'm trying to build. Let's start with the sand. I will apply a medium light layer, and I'm going to apply it from this side, not all the hair, and from here. We want to create some shade from here, and the shine of her hair is going to be somewhere here, in order to create this effect of a very shiny hair. You're going to have to make as big contrast as you can make. Probably even to leave some white spaces here, or create them with the white Posca at the end again. Since the light is in front and it's going to reflect all over her head, my supposition is, and my vision when I colored this girl, was that she's going to have a slightly darker shade here, everywhere around the areas where the threads of hair are going to mix. And you'll see, and I will show you that where I'm going to contour each and every darker shade, here, like here on these buds in her hair. I'm not paying a lot of attention to this initial medium layer that I'm doing. This one is going to be very easy. for the final touches, for her hair to appear as close to realistic as possible, I'm going to do some more shading with black, only in the areas where I suppose the hair should be darker, just a little bit on this above this curve of her hair, a little bit here where the hair comes from below and makes a curve like this. It's a little bit more shaded, and it's behind the head. I will follow the line of the hair of and we'll try not to darken the picture too much. If you wish, you can blend the whole coloring that you made, but you have to be careful the blending to be done. You will not use the blender like this, perpendicular to the line of your drawing. You should be blending in the same direction that you use to suggest the hair, direction of the hair. This concludes here our second episode of this color along. Thank you for following me, and don't hesitate to ask any questions if you have. Please also do not hesitate to tag me in your drawings if you are going to follow this color along and the techniques showed here. I would be glad to see if you're happy with the results of your drawing. Happy coloring, and see you for the next episodes where we are going to color the jewels on this girl's head.